Video number 2, how the power of darkness takes control of people. Well, to start with, they don't know it. The whole world don't know it. Most of the church don't know it. They don't understand. Um, the world will make fun of maybe the prospects of it. The Christian church talks it, gives it lip service. It's like Jesus said, oh, their lips confess me, but their hearts are far away. They really don't have the knowledge of it, and they believe just exactly like the devils do. It says in the Bible, the demons, the devils, believe in Jesus and tremble in fear. Well, that's believing. Well, it says in the Bible, go into the world, preach the gospel to every creature. He that believes shall be saved. He that doesn't believe shall be damned. If you believe, you will take the next step in salvation, and that's faith. You can't receive the grace of God if you don't want it and you don't believe in it. You're not. I mean, he might give you a wake-up call, drop you on your head a few times, but you ultimately have to respond in faith. So how does the darkness get a hold of a person? Well, you don't even see it. The most powerful weapon that the darkness has is deception. That's why you don't see it. That's why it stays hidden. Oh, where's it at? In the shadows. Satan is the prince of the power of the air. In the tribulation, Satan is taken out of the air and cast to the earth. That's what's going to happen to the 7 churches, the ones that don't overcome. They have to face Satan and his hierarchy, his army on earth as they're cast from another dimension to earth. They will see things that are terrorizing. And they will wish they would die, but they can't. God will not let them die. He's putting them in this wine press, trying to twist it, to twist them and force them and get them to listen and get them to repent and overcome. But even then, their hearts are not right. They'll take the mark of the beast, they'll join evil, and then the monster itself will devour them. They're going to be destroyed. That's called everlasting fire. We can overcome now, or you can play games, go into the tribulation, and then try to overcome then. But we don't want to go into the tribulation. Let's get to a place that we are manifesting now. We are the overcomers, and we are kept from the hour of tribulation, like Noah. Noah wasn't in the water. I've had people say, well, Noah was down there in the water, and God... No, he wasn't. He was on top of the water in a boat. The water was the judgment that drowned. Noah was not in the water. He was saved by being out of it in a boat with the animals. A whole lot of people are not as good as animals. The power of darkness is out there. You can't see it. So how does it get to a person? I'm going to talk to you kind of in a way, like a scientist, but I'm not. You know, they don't understand the human brain. Now, there's a lot of baloney in some of the science that they're coming out with now. They put people in MRAs. They can map neurons firing in the brain. Now there's a big argument about them. Is it inside the brain or is it all outside the brain? Some people claim it's in. Others say, no, you can damage the brain terribly. But people still have consciousness. It's not in the brain, it's out. They don't really know. But even if you give them everything they want, okay, I'll believe everything you say. They still can't cure the common cold. They don't know how to stop cancers and diseases. They can't go into their laboratory and make life out of nothing. They don't understand a lot of things. Now, science's principle, if you talk to an agnostic atheist, which I don't agree with their teaching, some of the top guys have a real clear understanding of logic and fallacies and science in relationship to what's truth. Sure, science cannot prove the supernatural exists. And a Christian cannot use the fallacy and argument of ignorance to prove it. And that's where an atheist would beat every theist or Christian's pants off. But here's the problem with the atheist, again with the scientist. They can't even understand what consciousness is. So if I would say see, they'd say, well, just because we don't understand doesn't mean it's something supernatural or miraculous. So you can't argue from ignorance, and I can't. But I will tell you this, they don't know. They don't know. So here's the point. When they say, oh, your consciousness and your brain activity is neurons firing off, okay? And they can see, if you look at the picture of an apple with their MRA or all of their instruments that they tape on a person's head, they can see something in the brain or outside the brain flashing like there's electricity going on, and that person, the computer will say, that person is looking at an apple. Okay. And they go, oh, we can read minds. No, you can't. That's wishful thinking. Why? They take and bend. Okay, let me start here. The principle of science is something that is totally skeptical, and it is by experiment and demonstration proven over and over to many people, peer-reviewed, and it is a absolute proof. Let me give you an example. Newton's law of gravity. Take a rock, throw it straight up in the air, look up, and it'll come down. It could hit you between the eyes, and that proves gravity exists. But when you start talking about miraculous, supernatural means it is not part of naturalism. It's not part of our physical natural world. Now, what is it? It's something like, if you want to talk science, the neurons that are flashing when you're thinking. You have a spirit, which is not part of the natural world. It's in you. Of course, now science is going to go, you're arguing from ignorance. But I said, get out of here. Let me talk to the spiritual people now. Our spirit is what our consciousness is, okay? And it works somehow with all of that, neurons and all that. I don't know. Nobody does. But the power of darkness is in another dimension. And it has the ability to come into our dimension and then go back to its dimension. And the word dimension could be called the air, heaven, okay? Something that's not part of our physical world. And here's how it works. Mysteriously, if you're thinking, well, maybe I should go to the grocery store, and you're young, and all of a sudden you're walking along and you're thinking, I want one of them giant chocolate bars. And all of a sudden there's this thought and an emotional feeling, I'm going to go in the store. And when that clerk is looking at something with some customer, I'm going to put that chocolate bar in my pocket and I'm going to beat it out of there. There is the ability for the power of darkness to communicate with people. And that's the truth. You can hear it talk to you out of a person. And then, of course, science says that person's crazy. You've got mental institutions full of schizophrenics and phobias and psychotics and sociopaths, all of them. If you went in there, many of them, the majority of them are demon-possessed. This power of darkness can come into our realm, and it can come in contact with a human's consciousness, and it will start talking to you and trying to convince you of things in your thoughts. That's why Jesus said, take no thought. Take no, N-O, thought. Thoughts are evil. There's no good thoughts. But let the mind of Christ be in you. If you have the word in you, you're not going to have that other thing come into you, because the word is sharper than a two-edged sword. Faith grows by hearing, and hearing the word. Your shield of faith is the word. The testimony of our words is the word. Now, that darkness will try to convince you in increments. That's the amount of influence. Small increments, a little stronger, a little stronger, a little stronger, a little stronger. If you keep letting it come in more, it gets stronger. So you have, regression, succession, away, regression. And you can have depression. You can have oppression. How about obsession? And then ultimately, possession. You can't be possessed without opening the door and saying, come on in. It can't control your will, the darkness, but it can break your will down and tempt you, and you'll open the door.